If I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
Be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she could sue.
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, "Hey, Jay-Z, give me your money," or "I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money." I never did that.
What if the world's biggest rapper, one who built an empire off lyrics about truth, power, and responsibility, has spent over a decade running from his own past? What if behind that billion-dollar smile and family man image lies a buried secret? A son he refuses to acknowledge. Ramir Satterthwaite says he is that son, and after a 10-year war filled with dodged DNA tests, sealed courtrooms, and even gunshots, Jay-Z may finally be out of time. This story has never been just about paternity. It's about influence, silence, and what happens when the powerful play by different rules. From rumors of underage pregnancy to court corruption, intimidation, and hidden hands in the legal system, this isn't just one man's fight for truth. It's a scandal that could shake hip-hop to its foundation, and now, the truth is clawing its way to the surface. Ramir's life started with unanswered questions. Born to Wanda, a young mother barely 15 or 16 at the time, he grew up with a gap in his identity, a space where the word father should have lived. Wanda didn't talk much about it. For years, she remained quiet, working hard to protect her son from the pain of knowing too much too soon. But secrets have a shelf life. As Ramir got older, the silences became harder to ignore. Whispers turned into clues. And one day, Wanda told him the name that would change everything: Jay-Z. Ramir didn't believe it at first. Who would? But the more he looked into it, the dates, the locations, the timeline, it all added up. And suddenly, his entire world tilted sideways. This wasn't just about who his father was. It was about why that man, with all his influence and access, had done everything possible to disappear. Let's be real. This isn't just any man. This is Jay-Z, a mogul, a global brand, the husband of Beyoncé, a billionaire with partnerships in liquor, streaming services, and sports teams. So when someone like Ramir steps forward claiming to be his son, the easy assumption is this must be a scam. Except Ramir never asked for money. He never tried to cash in on Jay's fame. What he asked for was simple: a DNA test. And what did Jay-Z do? Not take it, not address it, not even deny it outright. Instead, according to Ramir and his legal team, Jay-Z launched a quiet campaign behind the scenes. Court cases were delayed, paperwork got lost, judges dismissed claims on shaky technicalities, legal teams allegedly submitted false evidence. And just like that, the question of truth was buried again. But why? If Ramir is lying, wouldn't a simple test shut this all down? Unless Jay knows the results wouldn't go his way. Here's where the situation spirals into something far more sinister. According to Wanda and her close friend Lily Coley, Wanda met Jay-Z in the early 90s. She was young, barely old enough to drive, and allegedly, she became pregnant shortly after that meeting. If this timeline is accurate, that means Jay-Z may have had a relationship with a minor. That changes the stakes completely. We're no longer talking about absent fatherhood. We're talking about a possible unlawful act that could still carry serious legal consequences, even decades later. It also gives insight into why Jay-Z would go to such lengths to avoid that DNA test. Because a positive match doesn't just confirm paternity, it opens the door to scandal, headlines, and possible prosecution. Jay-Z has spent years carefully curating his legacy. He's no longer just a rapper. He's a philanthropist, a family man, a businessman, a cultural leader. But if these allegations hold any truth, that legacy could come crashing down. Ramir didn't stay silent. In 2011, he and Lily, his legal guardian, filed a formal paternity suit. That lawsuit should have brought the truth into daylight. Instead, it was thrown into shadows. Lily says Jay-Z's team submitted fraudulent documents claiming Ramir already had a confirmed biological father. But when reporters obtained Ramir's birth certificate, there was no name listed at all. Just a blank space where a father's name should have been. Later, while Wanda was in the hospital recovering from a coma, Jay-Z's legal team allegedly pressured her into signing papers that removed Lily from the case entirely. Without her advocate, Ramir's case was dismissed. Every time Ramir tried to come up for air, he was pulled back under, and yet he kept fighting. Here's the strange part. This story should have been everywhere. A potential secret son, a decades-long legal battle, gunshots, a billionaire dodging DNA tests. That's headline gold. So why haven't you heard more about it? The answer might be in who we're talking about. Jay-Z isn't just rich, he's connected. He's deeply embedded in the media, in tech, in corporate America. News outlets often rely on access to artists like him for interviews, exclusives, and ad partnerships. Would they risk burning that bridge for a story that hasn't been proven in court yet? Ramir's silence in mainstream media may not be because his claims are baseless, it might be because they're too real to touch. And that silence? It speaks volumes. After Ramir filed a new suit in 2018, things got worse, much worse. One night, his car was riddled with bullets while parked near his home. None of the other vehicles nearby were touched. Just his. Then came the early morning knockings. People driving on his guardian's lawn, faces outside the windows. Phone calls in the middle of the night. It wasn't just creepy, it was deliberate. Lily says these tactics were meant to scare them into backing off, and she believes it was no coincidence that it all started happening when legal pressure against Jay-Z began to mount. This isn't the behavior of someone trying to resolve a misunderstanding. This is what happens when power is challenged and fights back. Ramir's new lawsuit isn't just about Jay-Z, it's about the entire New Jersey legal system. He and his team allege that multiple judges conspired, intentionally or not, to keep this case from ever going to trial. One judge reportedly dismissed Ramir's claims after Jay-Z said he didn't own property in New Jersey, meaning the court had no jurisdiction. But Ramir's team later found deed records and tax filings showing that Jay did own property in the state. If that's true, that's perjury. And if judges ignored that evidence, the question becomes who were they protecting and why? Jay-Z has made a name for himself as a man of the people. He's funded criminal justice reform, marched in protests, built documentaries about social injustice, and positioned himself as a voice for truth. But now, that voice is silent. When Jay-Z's name was mentioned in the Jane Doe lawsuit against Diddy, a case involving alleged abuse of a 13-year-old, he was quick to release a statement about honor and protecting children. But Ramir wasn't impressed. He fired back. If you truly care about protecting children, start by acknowledging your own. Jay-Z can't play the moral high ground while avoiding basic accountability, and more people are starting to notice. This scandal isn't just personal, it's symbolic. Jay-Z has become the face of hip-hop's evolution, from street corner to boardroom, from drug dealer to billionaire. He's proof that reinvention is possible. But what happens if that face is hiding something dark? If Jay-Z really is Ramir's father and he's been dodging responsibility for decades, it rewrites the narrative. It forces us to ask, how many other stories are out there? How many other people were silenced, bought off, or buried? This isn't just about Jay. It's about the system that protects men like him, and the people it forgets. Let's not forget who this story is really about. Ramir is not a punchline, not a headline. He's a man searching for truth in a world that's made that nearly impossible. He's lived in the shadow of a man who millions worship, while carrying the burden of being told he doesn't exist. He's faced intimidation, sabotage, violence, and yet he keeps showing up. Not for fame, not for cash, just for clarity. And maybe that's what scares Jay-Z the most. As of now, New Jersey law presumes Jay-Z is the father because he refused the test. And with this new lawsuit gaining traction, the window for silence is closing fast. Jay-Z has two choices: take the test and face the results, or continue running and watch the court of public opinion turn against him. Either way, this story isn't going away. And every day he stays silent, the world asks louder, what is Jay-Z hiding? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Ramir? Why do you think Jay-Z still hasn't taken the test? Should the media cover this more aggressively? The truth always finds a way out, and we'll be here when it does.